In this video, we'll be transforming spreadsheets into dynamic knowledge bases so that we can gain deep insights easily through searchability, comparative analysis, and Q&A using natural language. Now, let's set the motivating example of a US stock valuation dataset. So this is a large dataset with over 14,000 rows. It has the company name, it has a ticker, sector, industry, as well as a lot of different metrics. So let's see how we can quickly gain insight into this dataset. Now let's start interacting with this data analyst agent that I've built that has access to this large data set. So the first question I'm going to ask is, what is the total debt for Google in 2023? So it's gone into this large data set of 14,000 rows and extracted this information very, very quickly. Now, the next question I'm going to do is, how does it compare with Apple in the same year? So comparative analysis that I'm using natural language to query this data set. All right, so it's got that information, and again, very, very quickly. Now I'm going to give it even a more complex question. Can you give me the total debt for Google and Apple within this time range? All right, so it needs to figure out how to get that information, pull information, and then summarize the information. All right, as you can see, it's pulling the information, and it's now collected all the information across the years, and it's done some analysis. Great. Now let's do the same for the PE ratio. All right, once again, it's figuring out what exactly I mean by same, and then cutting across and getting all the information across the years for PE ratio. Now, I can say, compare the two and give me your analysis. All right, so take this information and take the other, and then just give me some analysis on that. So look at what it's able to produce. So the general trend, a relative comparison, and then some economic context, taking consideration the COVID spike, and then some key observations, and then a conclusion. So pretty cool. So let's dive into how this workflow works. Let's start with the data analyst agent and the tool that I've used to connect it to. I'm using this no-code DB. This database is extremely easy to use and has a very generous free tier. So we're going to go into this database, and what we're going to do is we're going to import from this import data here, specify the CSV, and then upload the file. So I have the file here, and it has 14,000 rows. So we'll open that and then import. So it's going to take about a minute to import. And once it's imported, then I'm going to have a table that looks like this. Now that we know where the data is coming from this no-code DB that we've imported our spreadsheet into, and now the data analyst agent has access to it via the tool, let me just ask the original question. What was the total debt for Google in 2023? And let's walk through how this is working. So the first thing it's doing is getting access to the meta information. So this column names for the table, it's getting it from this first three nodes. So we'll walk through that in detail later, but it's getting information about the column names and making that available in the prompt. And then using that context and asking this question. Now, what's going to happen is that the AI will realize that it needs to call this tool from this no-code DB, and it's going to have as its input a filter, and the AI is going to figure out from this filter what to filter from the database. So what the ticker is and what the calendar year is. And based on that input, then it's going to take that input and then synthesize a response. With that as an overview, let's do a node-by-node walkthrough, starting with the data analyst agent and what we've done to build it. So the data analyst agent, if you look at the prompt, it's a very simple prompt. It's just saying that it's a helpful data assistant who's skilled in working with a database called no-code. And what we do, the key thing we do here is that we tell it what is the name for the table. All right, so this information here is key. And I get this information from the input from this columns. All right, so let's now look at the input columns here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is to take a look at the settings. So in the settings, I specify which table I'm interested in. So this information can be found here, going back to no-code database and then the table ID. So I specify which table. And then I use this call here. So there is a call that I can use to get the meta information that I specified just with the table ID. So this table ID will give me as the output all the information uh, about that table, including the column names, right? So then in here, in the extract columns, I just map the information and just get as the output the column names, right? So that's the key piece. Now, after I get that information, all I need to do is to hook up a tool, and this tool is a no-code DB tool that's already built into NA10. And I want to walk through this in a little more detail. So this is the secret here. This is the secret to how this workflow works. All right. So I'm in the tool here. There is an option that I can add called filter by formula. So this filter by formula, I'm going to drill down into the expression. So this from AI. So this is telling NA10, I need to extract this information. I need to infer this information, right? And I'm going to call it a filter formula. And this is the description, all right? So the description tells the AI, yes, what you need to do is to find a formula to do the filtering. And I give some examples. So for example, I want to use this form. So ticker is equal to, and then a name. And then this will filter for ticker column equal to this. So you're kind of teaching the AI what is the way that you want to express this filter. And then you can tell it also that to add more than one condition, you do it like this. Compound conditions can be expressed like this in this way. So this expression here is really, really important. And it actually is the key to making this work, because it tells it exactly how to filter and get the information. So after you have that, we're using in the chat model a GPT-4.0 because it gives you a lot of reasoning power. So we're using this, and then we'll put that all together to make this work. So to wrap up, this is a very simple but powerful build. In 7 nodes, we've been able to take this spreadsheet data consisting of 14,000 rows and being able to transform that spreadsheet into a dynamic knowledge base that would be able to get deep insights about this data. We can search it and we can do comparative analysis all with a natural language way. Very, very powerful. Now, this is a building block that we can build even more powerful workflows, which I'll show in future videos.